Hey guys, it's Main here, back again with another account review, and today we're looking at Jiof's account. Jiof, if you guys don't know, is hold on, sorry, I have music playing for the Twitch stream, and it's making me not be able to concentrate. But let's give you some background about Jiof, who he is, what he is in the Discord, and what sets him apart from most of the reviews that I think is going to help contextualize a lot that you guys are going to see. So Jiof, I want to double check. This is Jiof's, right? I mean, it says it's Jiof, but what's his face? I mean, so Jiof lore. This guy is certifiably insane. It is his account. Okay, so Jiof is a free-to-play player. Now, what do I mean by that? There's two categories of thoughts when it comes to free-to-play. Number one, it's someone who believes that auto loot should be included in free to play, and number two, it's a person who's a purist and doesn't believe in auto loot because you have to spend money for it. You can play Idleon without auto loot, right? And I want to be completely transparent. Jiof was the reason I wanted to do, or part of the inspiration for the free to play run, and why I chose to do the free to play run with no auto loot, because Jiof is a purist in form when it comes to free to play in Idleon. Jiof does not have auto loot. Jiof has not bought a single pack. Jiof is a completely free to play player in Idleon, and he is eclipsing the leaderboard when it comes to drop rate. Not quite. I mean, there's obviously pay to win has more drop rate than him, but Jiof is approaching like 200x drop rate for someone who's completely free to play. This man has not spent a single dollar on Idleon, and his account is, I think, the most insane account I think I've ever seen. And I have the highest, utmost respect for this individual. And again, was the whole inspiration for why I started the free-to-play run in the first place. I never told him that. I never told anyone that. That's just kind of, I saw this man walking around with no auto loot, completely free-to-play. And I thought, interesting. It completely shifted my perspective of how people play Idleon, and it completely shifted my mindset from, this game is awful, it's a pay-to-win trap, you need to pay to win to get to the higher up echelon of the game, and that's just simply not true. Like, he completely broke my viewpoint about this game, and, I think that's why I've become a little bit more lenient towards lava. I mean, I'm still a little bit against the pay-to-win perspective. It's just very predatory, as I've said before. I still stand behind that, but Idleon at its core, based off my experience in the free-to-play run, based off of Jiof's account that I've seen bits and pieces of, you don't need to pay in this game. It's just, the main issue I still have with it is it's psychological, and there's like issues with it, but still, the game at its core is not pay to win. You're not going to, eclipse yourself in the leaderboard anytime soon by strictly paying to win. You have to actually put effort into your account, and Jiof is the biggest, I guess, proof of that you can dedicate a lot of your time and you can actually have a good account if you set your mind right and you actually learn a little bit about the game. So let's take a look at his account and go through some of the things that we see in his account. I don't think Jiof is here to give any perspective about what he's doing, why he's doing, how he's doing some of these things. Like when it comes to statue farming, for example, like this is crazy. Like having 200 plus statues, having all the, Dragon Warrior Village statue, maybe less, but having all of these statues at like a really high level as someone without auto loot, that means he's picked up every single one of these statues individually. He hasn't gone out of his way and like AFK'd overnight because he physically can't. The game stops itself. Like it lags so much from you being able to do this. Like, this is insane if you put this in perspective, how much he's accomplished as a free-to-play player. And I'm not saying that anyone should be playing this game without auto loot, because that is strictly insane, but how much you can actually accomplish from a free-to-play perspective, and it's crazy to me. Anyways, stop the glaze. Let's go jump into his account. Let's take a look at some of the things that he's done, where he's at. Let's start very basic. Look at the stamps and stuff. So obviously, based off this, he's bought a lot of the exalted stamps out of the limited time shop. Based off the fact he has 14 exalted stamps, it's practically impossible if you do this naturally through Windwalker. But you definitely can do things like gem farming in this game. So if you're very dedicated, which Jiof is, you could do daily boss farming. You can kill up to 150 bosses a day. You can kill your Coliseum bosses. You can kill see his vendor stamp exalted. You can get what's it called? You can buy out the alchemy shop for gems. You can buy out the mini bosses from for Doot for Biggie hours. You can get a lot of gems from that. So in Kilroy, I imagine is always a good source of gems for him. I actually, surprisingly, he doesn't have like that big of a Kilroy. Well, if you want more gems, and I imagine, especially as World 7 rears its head, you want to get more gems, Jiof. Definitely doing more Kilroy, investing more time into Kilroy and stuff. Absolutely. Getting ahead, because you can get a bunch of arcade balls. If my streams are any proof of anything, arcade is a great way to get gems, and Kilroy just has a really insane return on investment if you spend all your arcade balls on, or all your skulls on arcade balls to get a return on investment through the gems there. Anyways, talking about the Exalted stamps, I think all these are really good. Obviously, the crystalline stamp is like a necessary, like must-have. Mason jar, golden apple. The vendor stamp is really good. The drippy drop stamp, matty bag stamp, drop lots. Now, unfortunately, I don't think that Triadescent stamps is necessarily worth an Exalt, but Summoner Stone, Multi-Tool, I think those ones are all really good. The drop rate, maybe yes, maybe no. I mean, considering he is trying to min-max drop rate, it makes sense why he did it. I don't think it's necessarily that good of an Exalt for everyone to do, but hey. How much gems should we keep for World 7? I would try to get to 10k. Considering we're 8 weeks away, 10k is not a crazy number. Maybe, could be like 4 to 8 weeks away. Considering, okay, so you can get, let's do some quick maths, guys. So we can get like up to, say, like 100 gems from boss kills every single day. And then you can get like 10 gems. That's being very conservative, very lenient, from Alchemy Shop. And then you can get, another, what, like 10, 15 gems from 10 to 15 gems from the Coliseum bosses you can kill. I'll be conservative again, do 10 there. You can get what else? Mini spike trap mini game, maybe like 5 if you're lucky. If you times that by 7, 875 gems a week. You minus 400 for Kilroy because you do the resets, and then you can get like 700 gems from Kilroy. And then you can do, obviously, your weekly giant spawns. I get like 300 gems a week, maybe, at least. So on a weekly basis, that much. So if you times this by like 5 weeks, being conservative, you can get about 7k gems. Okay, maybe a little bit off, but I'm very conservative estimates. I think you can get more gems out of that if you were to min-max it. But yeah, you'd think that, but I actually have no idea how many gems I get from my giant spawns. Who knows? Actually, I have a few gems saved up from like a few weeks. Yeah, I think, what did I say? 500, 300, something like that. It's a few weeks worth of giant spawns. Anyways, yeah, I mean, so between now and 5 weeks from now, you can maybe get around 7,000 gems, being a little bit conservative. I'd say it's pretty good, but that should be enough to really prep you for World 7. I mean, you may not be able to buy out the entire shop or the limited time shop, because there might be new stuff in the limited time shop that's pretty goated. But getting 10k is like a good starting point for however many gems you can expect to spend for World 7. So at least get there is a good starting point. Owl, you're at 20 owl. It's pretty good. We already talked about stamps. I mean, I don't even care about Forge, to be honest. Candy Clicker, yes, 30,000 stat bubbles. Don't have all the prism bubbles because I imagine your gem shop, you haven't, or during the event you didn't spend a lot of gems on that, but you have at least 5 prism bubbles. I'd say it's pretty good. You got Larry, you got Carpenter, you got the Mage's Best, Archer Bust, Warrior's Rule. Those are all like the basic standard bubbles. If you are able to farm up, I mean, I still think that doubling Diamond Chef is like really good. I imagine you've already finished cooking, but still the World 7 meals regardless are going to take a lot of fire speed or meal speed for you to get to level 110, or hell, even like 100, maybe 90. If the last World 6 meal is any indication of the kitchen speed required for the World 7 meals to get up to max, it's going to take a lot of time. Or you can also just rely on the +1 no meal left behind that you get. But But yeah, I think going towards doubling Diamond Chef is just insanely powerful. As I've talked about it previously, my free-to-play account is pretty evident of that fact. In fact, I'll pull it up here. If I go over to cooking right now, I haven't done much like management in my cooking, but I'm almost at 80 meals from just Diamond Chef, from Blood Marrow, and from I think my crops. Those are the only big multipliers I have to cooking speed right now, but roughly hovering around 60 to 70. Some of the meals approaching 80. Just from that. Like I don't have fluoride. I don't have any of that. It's just Diamond Chef, and it's just from Blood Marrow, and that's the only things I have. Anyways, back to liquid farming. Cauldrons. The thousands, okay. I mean, for someone who's free to play, this is pretty good. No auto loot. I mean, this is pretty good. Unfortunately, no bald pickle jar. All the sigils, all the important sigils maxed. I'd say yes, except for Dreamcatcher. The 10% AFK gain would be pretty good if you could complete that. That'd be nice. Okay. How do you have reindeer? Did someone trade you reindeer? Lucky. I'd say it's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, of the current rotation, Emperor bonus is really good. Villager EXP multi, maybe not really worth the royal balls in my opinion. But Emperor bonus definitely is one of those you want to do. Especially, I mean, considering if you're limited on the super balls that you have, saving them for another upgrade for, I guess, like drop rate, obviously it'd be pretty good. Getting any of the masterclass bonuses, the Prisma bonus, maybe even summoning EXP multi, like all those are really good. Oh, and the Monument AFK gain, obviously really, really good. Kind of briefly viewed that. Your Megafish, maybe aim to get that to 11, probably. Yeah, prints are pretty good. Yeah, the trillions of prints. I mean, I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say you should work on your prints because I don't work on my prints. But, you know, always pushing the number higher. That's the end goal of Idleon. So if you want to keep on doing bravery, getting more hours into bravery, stacking more mining efficiency, and getting more bravery molt, definitely a great way to scale those prints, especially the copper ore, because you can get a ton of mining efficiency, get a ton of bravery molt. And honestly, to kind of prep for World 7 and the introductions, we've already seen gaming is going to get a huge expansion when World 7 comes around. So trying to focus more on gaming bits is actually, you know, might be something you want to do. Gaming, if anything, has some pretty powerful things like an increased Atom Collider upgrades. So gaming might actually have some pretty game-changing buffs when it comes to the new expansion. So prepping for the update, you know, trying to get a higher level nugget, trying to get more of these sprouts unlocked, trying to, you know, get more gaming bit multi through bravery might be something you want to do kind of in the future. I would highly recommend that. Also trying to do some nugget farming, so being active in World 5 Town, constantly clicking Harvest All, evolving your chemicals, clicking on the shovel, clicking Harvest All, clicking on your chemicals, clicking on the shovel, clicking Harvest All, just endlessly cycling, repeat, and trying to get a higher nugget, trying to get to 1 billion nugget. Honestly, might be something you want to do. How do you get more than 15 sprouts? So this sprout capacity upgrade, you can actually upgrade this when you hit 9.99 trillion purple bits. There is no cap to the amount of times you can actually level this up. Now, I actually don't know, and Sheep, you're in chat, you can tell me if you want, but you can actually upgrade this, and the max sprout capacity actually is 24. I don't know if this caps, if you like continue upgrading this if it goes to 24, or it like caps for free to play players and you need the gem shop stuff. Yeah, it caps at 24 just by upgrading this, right? So I've upgraded this like 3 times already, and it's not increasing. 24 is like the hard cap. I don't know if free-to-play players, you can get it to 24 with that gem shop. Okay, so Jiof, this might be something you want to do. This cost caps at 9.99 trillion. So by farming gaming bit multi inside of our inside of bravery, getting a lot of that multi, getting to, if you can, 25 snail if you don't have it already, and getting a higher nugget into the billions will help you get towards the 9.99 trillion sprout capacity. Oh, sorry, 9.99 trillion purple bits. You need to increase sprout capacity infinitely because the cost is not scale to help you get towards those 24 sprouts. So you need 9 9 times 9.99 trillion, you need 89.91 trillion purple bits to be able to do, which, you know, honestly, it's not that hard. And honestly, it's not really, you know, free to play required or pay to win required. You can, by all means, do this as a completely free to play player. It's just, you know, it's a matter of your will, your sheer willpower, how long you're able to sit at the gaming window clicking harvest all endlessly until your eyes bleed to get billion nugget or 2 billion nugget and getting up to 25 snail and stuff, right? Yeah, and obviously that might change when World 7 comes around. Like, this cost might scale past 9.99 trillion purple bits, right? It might not, who knows? But I would definitely, you know, this is something I would probably aim towards, because that's a pretty significant upgrade to your gaming, right? Getting those 24 sprout capacities is pretty significant, and trying to do it with all the things I mentioned before is how you do it. So getting the gaming bit multi from bravery, getting more hours in bravery so you can see more rounds to potentially get more bravery multi, which will help scale the gaming bit multi that you have. Trying to stack up mail, trying to get immortal snail to level 25, trying to, you know, get a higher nugget, all this stuff kind of compounding together to help you get those 9.99 trillion bits. Hey Smoke, what's up? So I think peel away from doing drop rate farming. Don't try to compete with Quasar, and just, you know, try to get some gaming bits to prepare you for World 7 and the expansion of gaming. Snail will be the enemy, yeah. But yeah, if you want a little bit of help with Snail, not that it's like very significant or anything, but there's an upgrade here. For every power of 10 treble notes that you have, you can actually get increased Snail success chance. Very painful, but yeah. Where is it? This one right here. QQ. Gets to QQQ, you know? Upgrade your harp note gain. LOL. Yeah, I mean, you can get QQQ notes. Sailing, obviously very done with that. Cooking, I imagine, maybe, probably close to done, if done, yeah. Breeding, okay, shiny pets. Okay, what are some very important ones? Obviously, bonuses from all meals. 17, not 20. This is a very significant upgrade. I mean, the gold food bonus alone is enough to do shiny pet farming. So being maybe active on Windwalker, trying to get these pets to 20. However you do that as a free-to-play, not gonna lie, I have generally no idea how you do this. I imagine you just filter every single drop and you just like stare at the screen and click the coins maybe. But yeah, you could definitely farm this up to 20 for a pretty significant increase to your character. I mean, if you want to get more drop rate, right, this is a very easy way to get more drop rate, because it'll also scale the gold food effect bonus, which will scale golden cakes to give you more drop rate on your characters. Getting this 6% bonuses from Albiel between Sheepy and Red Mushroom is insanely powerful because of how broad cooking is. These pets are very powerful for you to focus on. When it comes to Windwalker, just kind of prepping for World 7 and getting your breedability pets up to level 7 is going to be pretty good to get you that crit chance, because remember that Windwalker can actually mega crit, at least the abilities can mega crit. So by getting more crit chance, upping your breedability, this will help you in the long run. Maybe get into World 7. Actually, we don't know how impossible World 7 is going to be for the master classes, but it might not be, who knows. But getting more crit chance will definitely help you push the envelope and trying to get more damage to prep for World 7. This is crazy. Okay. I want to see what is done. Oh, your masterclass tachyon farming is very painful. Ooh. Oh, wow. You haven't done. Interesting. There's really early stoppage on the tachyon farming. I wonder why that is. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of master classes to play. Compass? How's your abominations? You haven't done the World 6 abominations yet? I mean, of all the master classes to not worry about, my opinion, you should worry about Windwalker primarily because of the class EXP multi that killing all the abominations gives you. Also, it does help you prep for when World 7 comes around, because I imagine you have to kill all the abominations in World 6 to open up World 7. And obviously, this is all speculation if we can even do any World 7 mobs on Windwalker. But, you know, I think you should prep, and I think you should try to kill the World 6 abominations, get you that class EXP multi to help your characters level up more, and to help you prep for World 7 for when it comes out, and maybe pushing World 7 on Windwalker to get more dust, to help you get more of the compass upgrade that you might need. So killing all these abominations helps you in two ways: with the Windwalker class, but also with your other classes generally, because the abomination talent, you know, to help you out in that. So I would try and kill these, you know, farm out good bows, using your stone upgrades on them, trying to get a 5 out of 5 for each of the elements is honestly what you do. Getting to about 10 to 15 billion damage, sheet damage, is roughly where you want to do, up to the egg. For the egg, you definitely want to hit 15 billion, but even then, it still takes hours upon hours. I think for the egg abomination, it took like 6 to 12 hours or so. That's kind of the window, but it's really hard to get it any lower than that without like truly min-maxing cool dust hoarding and stuff like that. But 10 to 15 billion damage is like more than enough to finish World 6. But again, from the perspective of a free-to-play, no auto loot, I don't know really how you want to manage that. But because, I mean, overnighting is not something that you can do, right? Because you're going to lag. It's going to like really desync you. So however you want to approach that, I think that's something you want to do. I think it's worth it for how painful that is. Again, this is a challenge you've imposed upon yourself, so I'm trying to give you advice where I would normally give advice, and this is uncharted territory for me. So if you want, I think you should. I think at least these two right here are going to be very easy, and I don't think you need to pay as much attention to compared to Wisperius or Pile, right? Okay. As with most people, obviously try to level up your towers or your buildings rather from the lowest to level, or lowest amount of time investment. I think trying to get Parmotor Shrine, trying to get this to 200 is something you want to do. I think that trying to get Talent Book Library to level 201 is also something you want to do. If you want more build speed, obviously using your atoms or candy clicking, using your atoms to upgrade Carpenter, using your atoms to upgrade Call Me Bob, using your atoms to kill a bunch of sheepies, because the vault upgrade is actually build speed. I guess this is something I can talk about because I don't really talk about it too often, but this upgrade right here in the vault, Buildy Sheepy, this says build speed. Build speed is a different number, a different multiplier to construction. So in construction, there's 3 things really to worry about. 4 things really to worry about is construction EXP, player construction EXP, build rate, and build speed. So let me go through and talk about the differences between those. Construction EXP is things like Call Me Bob, just construction EXP, right? This just adds, it's a decent start to how much construction EXP you have. Call Me Bob is like the biggest source of this, and so if you get more construction EXP, it's going to be pretty much drowned out by Call Me Bob. Player construct EXP is what I'm referring to with directional cogs. So these right here, I need to redo my cogs. I know. Player construct EXP, this is a straight multiplier to what your DKs and whatever character it's pointing to construction EXP. So you see here, this character is 2Q construction EXP, right? If I take off the construction EXP, it goes down by what was that, like 70 trillion or so. So it's a decent amount. It's obviously I have a lot of construction player construct EXP, and so by removing one, I'm not removing all the multipliers, but it is a big increase to construction EXP. It's how you level up. Now build speed, or rather build rate, this right here is also another multiplier to your character's build rate on the board. So this 26 trillion goes down to 25, so it's a pretty significant decrease of construction rate. So you see I lose about 2 trillion there by taking that cog. off. And then the last thing to talk about is build speed. So build speed comes from Carpenter, it comes from the Sheepy upgrade, and someone remind me there might be a third one, but these multiply not only build rate but also build your construction exp. So if you have a ton of build speed, your character actually levels up a lot faster in construction, and they actually produce a lot more. They have a lot more build rates. You're able to complete more buildings faster. So by scaling build speed, you're scaling two things about construction, which is insanely powerful. So by actually getting power of 10 Sheepy kills, you can get a ton of build speed. And even the tooltip itself is kind of confusing because it says construction speed, then it says build speed. I don't know. It's very weird. But also, oh yeah, stacking redox salts for your DK, because there is a talent on your Squire for the power of 10 or so. Power 2, power 10. Redox salts that you have in your inventory actually gives you more build speed for your character. So there you go. But yeah, combining all those together, getting power of 10 Sheepy kills, getting more Carpenter levels, Adamine Carpenter, all this stuff really gives you a ton, and I mean a ton of construction EXP to help you level up a lot your characters in construction. So farming out more Sheepy kills, maybe farming out more redox salts, trying to get into the thousands of levels of refinery to help you get more of that build rate is something that will help. Build speed is going to help you in the long run to level up your construction, getting more of those account skill levels, getting you more bravery sword damage, and getting you the ability to get higher level cogs and stuff, right? But also helping you prep and complete a lot of the construction that's currently completable, talent library most notably, and Primordial Shrine. I mean, those are two things that you can complete right now that's able to be completed as opposed to the towers, because getting 280 of any of these towers is practically impossible right now. Okay, Jiof in the Discord has always pointed to his mini boss as being a problem. Personally, for someone in his context, I don't think this is that terrible. I mean, considering you have no auto loot, it makes sense why you don't have a ton of Glunko kills. It makes sense why you don't have a lot of the other mini bosses, because you don't pay attention to it all that much. Maybe it's just not worth your time. I think the issue with not having auto loot is that it makes your time more. It makes you consider your time more and what you want to AFK or but it's definitely worth it to get the multi-kill. I mean, even getting 1-2% is really good to help you prep for World 7 and pushing all that, right? But the mental tax it has to sit there and click on coins or click on material or whatever drops, right, is just very painful. And so it makes sense to me why your Glunko, your Dr. Deficus, all this stuff is not very up to speed when you have other things to consider that would help you as a free-to-play account, as a no auto loot account, right? So not remembering Dr. Deficus is not the biggest sin I think I've ever seen for someone in your position, right? That being said, I think it's something you should consider adding to your daily ritual, trying to kill Dr. Deficus, because 1k kills, that's just kind of abysmal. And for Dr. Deficus, it's not the most insane mini boss, right? It spawns once every daily reset, and so it's just a once in a day thing that you need to do. So it's not that difficult in the grand scheme of what you're currently doing. So I think it's worth killing Dr. Deficus every day, trying to kill Baba Yaga every day, doing your mini boss kills, getting Biggie Hours, King Do, Dilapidate Slash, all this stuff to get this mini boss multi-kill up to help you with the World 7 push eventually. Farming, I mean, you're progressing nicely. I don't really have any gripes here. Obviously, talk about this endlessly, but for someone in your position, I don't really need to talk about it. But what I do is just every single day I collect the crops. On the second day is when I do my bean reset. So 220 plus crops is when I do one bean reset every 2 days to help collect the magic beans, trade those in, get evolution GMO, and try to push this up to 3.4x is roughly where I was when I got to 230 crops. Currently, I think your land rank reset, your land rank distribution, I think is a little inoptimal because you don't have, namely, you have a bunch of points. You have an equal amount of points in production mega boost as you do production boost and super boost, which isn't that optimal. Mega boost is generally a pretty bad upgrade, and so you don't want to put equal amounts of points there, just of how inefficient it is. I think putting these 750 points of evolution mega boost, for example, is better put into evolution boost or evolution super boost. That being said, you also don't have all the crops available because I don't think you bought all the stuff from the gem shop, or maybe you have. I don't know. I guess I can't. I can't really tell, but I got those. Gem shop. Okay, you only have one. You don't have any Instagram generators. So I think this is probably the biggest hindrance of your time. But also, given the fact that you're free to play, no auto loot, this kind of makes sense as well. So farming these gems is very painful. So yeah, I mean, farming naturally is going to be much slower than you, than someone who isn't auto loot, or who is more pay to win and has more gems than you, right? So, you know, getting 224 crops is like a massive achievement. So props to you, I guess. So your EXP farming, are you at Mastery 5? Yeah, you are. Cool. You have all the pristine charms. So I imagine you bought these in the gem shop. Or you free to play farm these pre-change, which if you did, that's huge. You have all the beanstalk stuff done. Emperor at 74. I mean, all this is pretty good. Characters like minimum 650, right? Yeah. I don't know what stats on equipment. Make sure you have cheese. Make sure I see cheese on everyone. I see cheese on everyone. All this is good. Okay. Cool. Gear's up to date. Most of these characters, I see these characters are probably lab, right? Lab and div, maybe? This is your current activity. That's what I'm looking for. Lab. You're trying to get more skill levels, maybe? Not a bad idea. But yeah, all these characters are stuck in lab. Every single one of them has a World 6 trophy, which is kind of cool. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Yeah, I think all this is pretty good. Okay. Is it worth mentioning? I'm trying to think if it's worth mentioning. I don't think so. So, depending on if you have roll 2 kill rings, I think you should try to super chow the green mush that's in the King Dude room, because it's actually possible to do this. Or trying to super chow the Equinox Valley if you have roll 3 kill rings as well. I actually haven't done this in a while, so I don't know if this still works. See, it's like right here, right? Okay, yeah. If you you guys can't really tell, but you guys can see like the stuff I'm collecting here. If you press auto like on the flies on your second Deathbringer, your first Deathbringer, whatever, you can actually eclipse, or not eclipse, but you can actually chow, super chow, whatever, the mob here. The mob itself is affected by mob respawn, so if you were a little bit better in this, you can actually place the gravestone outside of this map, come into this map, and like you'll have the gravestone buff here to increase the mob respawn rate. And just clicking auto and AFKing here, you can actually kill this mob, and this will count towards a separate super chow. So this is how people are able to get to 84, 85, 86 super chows to help you increase your cooking speed. And yes, as Tim said in chat, you can actually use the World 3 kill rings to impact the amount of kills that your character gets here. So if you are looking as a way to get your super chows up, this is a very feasible option for you. Now, you can overnight this I'm not sure. I'm not seeing that this mob actually drops anything. So let me see. Because it counts as a dedicated ram, but it's a separate dedicated ram. So let's see if it actually drops an item or not. But considering it's only one mob that spawns every, couple seconds on the timer of your axe, it does drop. So this might lag you overnight. I'm really not sure. But this might be something to do where you can park your character, be active overnight, and actually get a ton of stuff. Get the super chow done on this. But yeah, I have no idea if it'll lag you off screen or not. But it might be something worth considering. But yeah, you can use World 3 kill rings if you have them. And yeah, it's worth mentioning this. And similarly, for those of you confused about Toolbox, what it's saying about, for example, Mummy Memorial, right? If you actually go to the Doot room, right? You have your Judophone, spawn your Doot, right? Like you're going to kill your mini boss and stuff. This is probably the most painful one to do. So it's not talking about Doot, right? Because that would be too easy. There's actually, unbeknownst to everyone, there's actually an invisible. Now I'm gonna let you get this in just a second. It says Mummy Memorial. It has a picture of a sand giant. So you'd expect there to be like a sand giant here, right? No. There's an invisible green mushroom right here that you can kill. And by killing this actually counts towards your super chows, your chows, your apocalypse wows, all this stuff. So you can actually farm this as a separate mob to get up your respective chows and stuff, right? So by getting 100 million kills of this, you can get another super chow here. By getting 1 billion kills of this G-Mush, you can get an apocalypse wow. And unlike regular green mushrooms, this is actually impacted by World 2 kill rings because it's in World 2. This counts as a super chow in World 2. So it's a green mushroom in World 2 that is separate from a green mushroom in World 1 that counts as a super chow and apocalypse wow. So this might be something you could do as well to get your apocalypse wows up. This was, I don't know, if you're bored as an end gamer and this is something you want to do, you can actually do this. You can go and calculate how many mushrooms spawn every X million hours or so. So you can, get this done. But I know people that have done the super chow, and I know people that were on the way to get this done as an apocalypse wow. It's very possible. I think when I was doing this, every single gravestone that I did, I was getting like 5 million or so kills because of how high multi-kill I have, right? Because I believe it takes the HP of the G-Mush, so it counts the multi-kill and stuff. So if I go to the G-Mush, I'm at the 52 cap rate. So I have 74,648% multi-kill. I'm getting 529 million kills. So, being active, using the World 2 kill rings, all this stuff makes the super chow seem daunting, right? But with all these bonuses that we have, it's actually not that bad. So it's a very real possible super chow that we can do. But like I said, the most optimal thing to do is go inside a regular map. Oh, it's confirmed the AC robe does work for this. So if you have a pay to win pack and you bought the AC robes, you can equip those and actually get you can actually get the bonus kill multiplier there. So yeah, but essentially you want to drop down the gravestone, go to the Equinox ram here. You see the gravestone buff is active at the top right, and then I can just press auto, walk away, and then the ram will respawn with the increased mob respawn from the gravestone. So the most optimal way to do this is once the gravestone is off cooldown, go into a map, drop the gravestone, go into the Doot room, kill the G-Mush, click on auto for 260 seconds or whatever, and then go in, or you could do that with Equinox, same thing. But that's how you would go about trying to get these super chowed or apocalypse wowed. Now, I do want to note some other weird super chows and stuff. So this Roots Acorn, this counts as a separate super chow apocalypse wow, which you've done. The poops inside the Dr. Defecus room, these count as super chows apocalypse wows. These count as a separate poop mob, so you can kill them. The boops obviously as well count separately, so you can kill the boops. If I can click on the thing, these count separately, so you can kill these for your super chows, apocalypse wows, whatever. I'm trying to think of anything else. The rift mobs, these count separately, so you can actually kill these. The rift mobs themselves count as one group, so by killing 1 billion rift mobs, you can get another apocalypse wow here. Anything else, chat? Anything else pop up? I'm not sure if the dungeon or this mob right here counts. I mean, you can't really kill it. I don't think it does. Yeah, not sure. But yeah, all the little nuances there. It doesn't. Okay, good to know. So yeah, little nuance. Fun to always talk about. But yeah, there you go, guys. All the little information there. Okay, Jiof, I think I'll stop there. Again, great account. I know you expected me to kind of roast you and stuff, but take in perspective that you're a complete free-to-play account. You have no auto loot. How far you've progressed is absolutely insane to me. And personally, you have changed kind of my perspective when it comes to Idleon. I once thought this game was like terrible and like you need to pay to win to really progress, but I think that was a very privileged opinion. And I'm kind of, you know, I still take the perspective that the pay to win methods in this game are kind of still predatory, and I will still rant against that, but the game's not that bad. The game is great. It has a lot of mechanics to it. I think anyone starting Idleon is going to have a lot of fun. I think getting into it is a great game and stuff, right? So I think you should take pride in what you've done and showing the Idleon community that really anything is possible. So I think given the perspective of where you are in the game, you know, who you are and your account, I think this is fantastic. So thank you so much for stopping by. Have a great day. Bye-bye.